When you're in the midst of an alarming or daunting situation, how do you respond? When you can feel the stress and fear building inside of you, what's your next move? Most of us try to find a way out. We might try to solve the problem that's causing this fear, or we panic and inadvertently dig ourselves deeper down into the fear. Often, we're just trying to get control over what's happening. This weekend, Pastor Jim talked about how one of the major causes of anxiety in our world is giving into that fear. Our anxiety spikes when we think we can control the world around us, and then we find out we can't. It creates a fear of how the world might impact our lives. So, back to our original question, how do we respond when we're afraid? We turn to God and ask Him for help. We ask Him for comfort and guidance, even when we think we know what we need to do next. For the longest time, this idea sounded very vague to me. In my head, there's always a next move for survival, or just logically. Just turn to God and ask Him to help with your fear. It didn't really sound like a step I understood how to take, until I saw it play out in real time through my mother. Several years ago, my brother came to visit me. He has special needs and lives halfway across the country with my parents. It was a very big deal that he was able to come down and be by himself and spend some time just with me. Although we had a ton of fun things planned, his body had very different plans for his time here. A few days into his trip, he ended up having 3 very intense seizures. It landed him in the hospital, and while dealing with doctors and trying to figure out what to do, I was overcome with true fear. As this was unfolding, I called my mother for help and guidance as I was just trying to deal with everything. When I called, I expected to hear panic or for her to tell me all the things that I needed to do next. But instead of her trying to solve this very out of control situation, she got on her knees and she prayed. She told me that's what she was doing over the phone, and I was shocked. She, as a mom so far away from her children who were in distress, had a million things flooding her brain and causing her fear. How in the midst of panic and chaos could she not feel the urgency of what was happening? I wanted someone to do something. I wanted to do something. But the thing was, she, more than any of us, understood that urgency, and that's why she turned to God instead of leaning on herself. Instead of leaning into the fear and scrambling to make the next move, she prayed over her fear and asked God to help her move through it. She recognized that she was not in control of what was happening, but that God was. Throughout a very hard week, she had peace and provided my brother and me with so much strength because she knew that God was going to show us what to do next. Because my mom stopped to pray and ask God to take her fear, and because she reminded all of us to do the same, we were actually ready to hear God's guidance when it came. We made better decisions, and we had more clarity as the information continued to come. We made it through better than I thought possible because we let God take control instead of letting our fear take control. When we let fear consume us, we miss out. We miss out on a relationship with God that could give us peace and take away some of the anxiety that's building around us. I don't know what kind of fear or chaos might be consuming you right now, but I challenge you to stop for a moment. I challenge you to pray, take a second to breathe, and ask God what's next. That moment of relinquishing control might make all the difference.